What is good, YouTube? Today we're going to be going over my top 5 meta loadouts to run after the Season 5 update. So if you enjoyed today's video, let's break 200 likes. Make sure y'all subscribe, all notifications turned on, and let's get into it. All right, so for our first gun up here today, we're going to be going over basically one of the best long-range options you guys can use, which is going to be the GPR 91. So this thing is absolutely incredible, and I would highly recommend you guys use this no matter if you're playing Verdansk, playing Rebirth. But let's get into it. First thing, magazine. This is going to be very standard, kind of no matter what map you're playing. You guys want to go for extended mag 2. Obviously 60 rounds in the mag. I'm a 60 round mag kind of guy, so I'm going to go for that. But you guys just should be going for that anyways. It is the largest magazine. Of course, on guns like, for instance, the Kilo, where there is like a, extended mag 1, 2, and 3, you don't really go for extended mag 3 because that's just overkill and it slows you down. We don't need to do that for this gun. We just go for this. After that, we're going to go for the underbarrel section, and we're going to go throw on the vertical foregrip right here. This is to help with your horizontal recoil control. Obviously, I mean, it's just going to do the absolute most for you. So you guys 110% want to go for the vertical foregrip here, kind of just to make this thing truly effective at long distance. Now for the barrel section, this is going to be something that is a little bit up in the air for some people, depending on what you play. I'm going to tell you guys this right now that generally speaking for Verdansk, more people are going to want to go for the gain twist barrel just because it increases out your bullet velocity quite substantially over something like the other option, which is the reinforced barrel, which only gives you out to like 1,000 meters a second. That's not that great, when you're talking about like being able to shoot people at a distance and not feel a ton of like that you have to lead your shots. So honestly, even on Rebirth, I've been using the gain twist barrel. I like it quite a bit, but the two options are the gain twist and the reinforce, and you're not going to go really wrong with either of them. Just keep in mind, if you're playing Verdansk, you want to go for the gain twist because obviously larger distances, but on Rebirth, you can get away with basically using either or. For me right now, I'm actually using the gain twist. Muzzle section, this is going to be unchanged from the previous season. We want to go for the compensator. Yes, just definitely want to go for this. It just makes sense to use. You got to be able to control that recoil. So this is something you guys should be using. Lastly, we're going to go for an optic right here. And I'll tell you guys my personal preference right now on the optics is going to be this Volziski Reflex. Absolutely love this thing. I think this is exactly what you guys want to be using. I don't really think there's really much of a reason to use anything else. Like I'm saying, like, you can definitely go down here and use, let's say, adjacent armory 2x or well as 3 times. Like playing Verdansk, right? Maybe having a larger, not a larger sight, a larger, I guess a more of a zoom in style sight, like a 3x2 or a 2 times would be better than if you're playing something a little bit closer quarters like Rebirth, where having a red dot might be sometimes a little bit more beneficial. I kind of run this just because I play Rebirth primarily, but you guys can run essentially a red dot on Rebirth or, one of those different zoom sights. But for my recommendation is the Volziski, and then of course we're going to go to the Customize tab. We're going to change this over to the blue dot sight. I always like to do this over the red dot. Highly, highly recommend. It just looks a little bit cleaner. And that's my full build. Get help unlocking Dark Matter, Abyss, and Nebula camos in Black Ops 6 with Mitch Cactus. They're absolutely the biggest and most reliable in Call of Duty right now. Whether you want something across multiplayer, zombies, or Warzone, they're completely legitimate for all platforms. They're super trusted by the community, and you may have seen them all over YouTube, and that's for good reason. They'll unlock all your camos, augments, and more without needing to lift a finger. With over 17,000 reviews and thousands of personalized vouchers, they're the go-to for all things in Call of Duty. Use code CHUCK at checkout for 5% off. Next up here for our top 5 is going to be the Ladra. So we all know the LC10, or if you guys don't know, the LC10 did get a pretty decent nerf. It's still actually pretty decent, right? But overall, there are some SMGs that are going to be now statistically better, and the Ladra is going to be one of them. I think TTK-wise, it will be better. So let's hop in here and show you guys how to build this thing out. First thing, magazine, y'all are going to want to go for extended mag 2. Honestly, there's really nothing wrong with extended mag 1. Like, that's perfectly fine to go for extended mag 1 versus extended mag 2. That's okay if you guys want to go that route. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. So extended mag 1 or 2, it's kind of up to you guys. 66 rounds or 55, both are perfectly acceptable. After that, rear grip section, we're going to go in here, throw on the ergonomic grip, dive to fire, slide to fire, aim down sight speed, and jumping aim down sight speed. This has been unchanged from the previous update, so no reason to kind of switch this out. This is still the best rear grip attachment for an SMG. So just going to put that out there kind of universally. It's definitely the best. Stock section, 2 options in here that I think are going to be really good. One being the infiltrator stock. That's going to be really solid. This will make you a little bit harder to hit, kind of a little bit overall. So it only has 1 pro as opposed to the other option, which is the balance stock. That's going to be the other one I would recommend for you guys to choose. I almost want to say the Infiltrator kind of comes out on a little bit on top just because that aim locking movement speed makes you a very hard target to hit. Also because when you're aim locking and like you're moving around, kicks in that rotational aim assist. So that makes you like hit more shots and you're a bit of a harder target to hit. You can strafe back and forth. It's pretty wicked. So I'd probably recommend this over the balance stock. Of course, some of these builds would definitely change if you're going into something like ranked play, you know, but playing public match, Infiltrator is going to be the move. After that, now we're going to go to the underbarrel section. We're throwing on that beautiful Ranger foregrip here. They definitely didn't increase the recoil at all on the Ladra, and it was very manageable anyways. So we're just going to throw on the Ranger to help us a little bit that horizontal, and of course, buff our sprinting movement speed. We absolutely love that. And then lastly, in the barrel section, y'all just want to go for the long barrel here. You can see it puts you out to 16.8 meters, which is honestly awesome. I mean, you can even check, you could probably honestly even get away with running the reinforced because that's 15 meters, which realistically speaking, 17 down to 15, you're probably not going to feel that a whole lot. So I'd recommend for you guys to just kind of see what works best for you. You might feel like your bullet velocity is just better. It is a 30% increase, which is pretty wicked. So try it out, see what's best. But overall, the long barrel is probably going to be your best bet. So slap that on there, and that's going to be your full build. All right, next up, I want to give y'all a build here for the C9. This is probably going to be like your #1 meta overall SMG. It did catch, I believe, a buff here within the update. Pretty much every SMG caught a buff, minus the LC10. That got a nerf. So everything got better besides the LC10. The LC10 got a lot worse. But now let's get here and give you guys the build for it. First thing, we're going to go for Extended Mag 2. I know some of y'all are going to be eyeballing this down below, that 10 mil auto. You guys definitely don't need to go for that. It's just not necessary to go for that to keep it a stack with y'all. You just want to go for Extended Mag 2 and you'll be good to go. After that, we're going to go to the rear grip section here, and you guys definitely want to go throw on the ergonomic grip. Ergonomic grip, dive to fire, slide to fire, ADS speed, jumping in outside speed. I talked about this. Y'all know what the drill is with it. So we're just going to slap that bad boy on there. Stock section, I'd recommend actually to go for the balance stock on this thing. You guys can definitely go for the Infiltrator as well. The Infiltrator is going to be great, but largely speaking, when I'm using this gun, I do feel the balance stock is indeed better. It just seems to work better for this specific gun as opposed to the Infiltrator. But keep in mind, if you use the Infiltrator, you're not going to be like down bad or something like that. This is still a perfectly fine attachment. This is just my preference between the two of them. Underbarrel section, y'all want to go for the Ranger foregrip here, horizontal recoil control and sprinting movement speed. Really great stuff. It's what I always use. And of course, in the barrel section, we're going to go for the long barrel here to increase our damage range, which gets us out to 18.2 meters. Pretty wicked stuff. This is definitely part of the buff, and also they increase some of the torso multipliers, so your shots based on where you hit, like head, neck, you know, I think some of the extremities might actually do a little bit more damage than they did previously. I'm not sure the exact minute breakdown of it, but overall it did get, you know, a damage multiplier buff and stuff like that. So it'll be even better than it was beforehand, and it was definitely solid even pre season 5. So we're gonna hop in here with this. That's my full build for the MP5. Next up, I'm gonna give y'all a build here for the Cypher 91. This is a really solid AR. The Grow, you know, the SWAT conversion kit, did get a bit of a nerf. So this thing will definitely be, I think, slightly better now than the Grow, but he still can definitely use it, right? Overall, let's hop in here. And of course, Extended Mag 2 is gonna be our option that we always go for. So you guys definitely wanna go for that. Underbarrel section, you guys want to stay very consistent with it. Give it the vertical foregrip. Like, this ain't rocket science. Like, we're just using the attachments. Like, some people like to mess with things, and it's like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? I understand changing up your sights and some other stuff that you can definitely get away with because it's just like a little bit more personal preference. But like, as far as an attachment like this, it's like, we don't need to go for any of these other things. Go for the G grip, go for any of this other crap. Like, just go for the vertical foregrip. Barrel section, this one, I've seen people kind of run a couple different things. So largely speaking, the gain twist barrel is going to be what majority people are going to be running, just because that does increase your bullet velocity quite substantially. You can see your damage at effective range. Obviously, it's not the absolute greatest, but your damage distribution is really solid. So you are perfectly okay to run the gain twist barrel. It's kind of that similar situation as the GPR, where you can run essentially either or and you'll be okay. I'd say if you're playing big map, you know, playing Verdansk, gain twist, and if you are running Rebirth, you can get away with running the reinforced barrel, as it still essentially would be the same bullet velocity as the reinforced barrel on the GPR. So it's up to you guys of what you want to be able to do. I have seen some people combine the reinforced barrel with like the mono suppressor, just because, and granted it's going to have a lot more recoil, but if you can, you know, pull down on the stick and you're good with it, you don't mind it, then go for that. But gain twist for basically everybody, and you can have the option to use the reinforced. Muzzle section, you just want to go for the compensator here. Mono suppressor, like I said, you can definitely try it, but this is a gun that does require some recoil control capabilities, even with the compensator on. So I'd probably recommend against going for the mono suppressor unless you want to go for like an iron sight build, in which case then you would not use an actual, of course, optic, and you go for the recoil springs. So you can try that out. That's kind of an unconventional way to do it, but it can be kind of fun. So use the compensator here largely. And then optic section, very similar boat to the GPR. I like to go for the Volziski. There's some of the other optics in here which I've definitely used or just tried out in the firing range. I'm like, hey, that's fun. Like, you know, the Dobrich MF reflex. I mean, pretty much any of these reflexes are going to be okay to use. It just kind of comes down to what do you want to look at in your gun. I mean, as long as you can see through it, like the red dots, they're really not bad in this game. Even the Kepler red dot, Otero red dot, I mean, they're all fine. So you can kind of use whatever you want right there. And the absolute max I'd recommend is the Willis 3x and the Jason Armory 2x. After that, I don't believe these sights are going to be that great. So just go for the 3x and, you know, kind of up here. And then you'll be okay kind of no matter what you do. I'm going to choose this one as that's what I like. And I'm going to go through on the blue dot, and that right there is my full build. Now, last but not least here, we're going to go over a build for the SOG, as this got a pretty nice buff, making it probably one of the top 3 SMGs in the game right now. It was definitely out of that meta category before the update, and now it's like up in there in the upper echelon where you can really, really use it and dominate. So let's get y'all the build for it. So we're going to go in here and throw on extended mag 2. This can help us with our magazine ammo capacity, obviously. We're going to throw that on there. No reason to go for extended mag 1. That only gets you 45 rounds. Not beneficial. Go for 2. Rear grip section, y'all want to go for the tried and true ergonomic grip. So I'm not going to explain this one once again. So go for that. Stock section, this is going to be kind of fun because the light stock, if you actually go for the light stock, this is sometimes where like I'd recommend to go for it. Only reason is that it has one of the fastest movement speeds in the entire game when you use the light stock. So if you want to have not like really like an OG Superi or Superi, however you pronounce it, you know, one of that type of effect, you can go for the light stock and you'll get sort of that similar movement feel where you're just sprinting and moving really fast, so it's pretty cool. But otherwise, you should just go for the infiltrator stock and the balance stock. Largely, I'd say the balance stock is going to be a little bit better in the situation as you get the double green arrows for all the pros versus the other balance stock. You maybe get like 2 for the aim locking movement speed and like 1 down for the other ones. Thus, you still get a great boost for everything. So it can be pretty lethal that way. On the barrel section, I'd say to go for the Ranger foregrip, or I'd suggest the vertical foregrip. Reason being is that this SMG has a real tendency to kind of kick a little bit. And if you want to kind of mitigate that and not feel like you're slowing yourself down, realistically speaking, then go for the vertical foregrip and you'll be totally okay. That's like perfectly acceptable. I've ran it like that. But the Ranger foregrip will give you that sprinting movement speed. Obviously, if you're going for that peak movement, you're going to run the light stock and you're going to run the Ranger, not the vertical, but I'd recommend you guys go for the Ranger. And lastly, in the barrel section, this is going to be pretty standard here. We're going to go for that long barrel. 15.2 meters is wonderful. You can see even the reinforced barrel, not the absolute greatest here at 13.4. Want to extend that out. So I think you guys would be better off using the long barrel. Sometimes, like, you know, the range we're using this is largely hit scan. So we don't have to worry about that bullet velocity drop off. If you're using something outside about this 15-ish meter range up to a maximum of 20, then at that point you want to whip out your AR or something else like that. Like, you're not going to be using it, like if you go to the firing range, you're not using this SMG at that second target. That's 25 meters. That is past its effective range. It's going to be a bullet. You're going to be a bullet sponge, or the enemy is going to be a bullet sponge. So just past that initial target there and a little bit farther, you know, maybe up to 20 meters, but you know, you want to go for the long barrel and you'll be good. Great damage range, and you're not going to feel the bullet velocity really. So go for that. And that right there is my full build. That's been my top 5. If you guys enjoyed it, give it a like, subscribe, check out this other video on screen, and I'll see you all next time.